Oh, now we're good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. And Newcastle United eliminated. Gone with the win from the FA Cup. One of the tournaments that we thought could have been a good one to go out there and get. Right? I mean, everybody else is out. Arsenal, Liverpool, everybody, and only Man City, Man United, who are draws, and then Aston Villa are like the teams that you can say might go for it, and Newcastle maybe another one. But we didn't take that as motivation. We didn't take that as motivation at all to try to go and pursue that title, that trophy. We just sit around and I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know what happened. I'm gutted for the elimination, unwarranted elimination. It wasn't like Brighton played way, increasingly better than Newcastle United. They were just very much a balanced match in the first half. Equalized, we were up, and then they equalized at the end. And I feel like is that enough to demoralize us to where we just don't know what to do anymore? Is that enough? Apparently, it was because in the second half, once again, another time this season, we were just absolutely just we were just horrible. I don't know. I don't know if the change to the 4-4-2 has anything to do with it. It did happen afterwards. After that, that we dropped our levels. But I will definitely agree. 'Cause you usually go at Eddie Howe, Eddie Howe, and I think that well, I mean, you can say Eddie Howe needs to get these guys ready. And is his job nonetheless. Um, but the players are just horrible, man. Horrible today. I mean, Willock gone. Bruno doesn't start, but comes on and doesn't do anything. Bruno is absolutely gone. I don't know what happened with him. The only one that seemed to be trying was Tonali in the midfield, and this is not because it almost feels like Tonali can't do no wrong. Well, maybe he can't. I don't know. He gave the ball away a couple of times, but man, he's the only one trying, the only one showing his face. I thought Livermento did great on the left side, and then he goes to the right side and disappears. Was it worth it taking Trippier out, putting Matt Target in? Was it worth it? Did it make us better? I don't know. Take away Alexander Isak, and then you put Callum Wilson instead, and it's night and day. Night and day, night and day. The quality. And we don't know as well as a team how to play to our strengths because we don't know how to recognize that Isak is not Wilson and Wilson is not Isak. So we don't really we don't do anything to play to our strengths. We know that Callum Wilson is there. He's not going to be the same as Isak, so we just keep playing the same way, hoping that Wilson comes out and gets the ball. Well, Wilson will never do that. We got to feed the ball to him. We never did that in the second half. Harvey Barnes a bit absent, but was it worth enough to take him out for Murphy? What did Murphy do? And Lewis Miley, he's getting there, but I mean, whatever. Joe Linton, did he have to come off? Maybe he's not ready to play 90 minutes. Maybe that's the big thing. That both center backs draws. Horrible. Share more than Burn, but Burn as well has mares from time to time. Does good, a good play here and there, but not to me, not quality. To be fair, and then you get onto the stupidest person on the day today. The one that said, "I don't care about nothing else." I mean, it's about me. It's about me. And if I don't have a good game, if the players, my teammates are not playing for me, I'm not bothered. And it's questionable whether he was worth 180,000 a week that the mighty wind advocated for in March for outside of St. James's Park. Well, he got it done. He's I believe the highest paid player now for Newcastle. Is it worth it? Because he today, and actually many times this season, when things don't go his way, he gets upset. He's that kid that grabs his ball once he's upset and goes home. Well, look at the stupid thing that he did today. I'm not even going to say mistake because a mistake can happen. Part of the game. No. I mean, he literally punched somebody in the back of the head. He missed too. He wasn't even good at that. And not only did he get himself sent off on a crucial game like today, but he gets himself sent off of the most important game of the season for us, which is the final against Liverpool. So now he won't play against Liverpool. I don't know if that's what he wanted to do or not. I don't know, but we're going to be missing so-called one of the best players for us this season in that final. So Harvey Barnes, you better eat your vitamins because you're going to need it for that day. Dross performance and low IQ from Gordon. And by the way, it needs to be questioned. It needs to somebody needs to have a conversation with him. They certainly do, because you're never going to win. You're going to have quality players here and there, but you will never win nothing at a single trophy, not the Intertoto Cup. You're not going to win nothing without smart players. And right now, Gordon has demonstrated that he's not smart at all. He's got good quality. He can score good goals, but he can dribble, but he's not smart. To do this to his teammates, to his team, and all the fans, I mean, he definitely needs to have a one-on-one conversation with him. But anyways, let me bring in Mighty Wayne. Let me bring in Gary into the reaction here. Well, first of all, let me go to Win here. Win just came back from St. James's Park. Win, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I've just listened to your overreaction yet again.
Oh, my overreaction. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we play amazing then. Is that right?
Oh, we didn't play amazing. We should have won.
We should have won. Okay.
How did Willock miss that header?
Yeah. I said,
how? He even got his head on it. And that was unbelievable. And again, just 5 and 10 yard balls that we were cocking up in the middle of the park, giving the ball away time after time after time. As regards the two centre backs having shocking games, I'll agree with you with Shea. I thought Byrne was touching man of the match for me. He was the one who gave a shit. He was running his. I don't think I haven't seen the stats yet, but I don't think he lost a ball in the air. So and putting himself about and covering for, and again time after time when we had the ball kind of in one of the wing back positions, under pressure in our own half, and instead of just clearing it, trying to play out of trouble and getting into even more trouble. That was the thing yet again that was unbelievable. But disappointing, obviously, out the cup, to say the least. But a little rant there about Gordon. He didn't have one of his better games, no. But he was still it wasn't him. I tell you who didn't cover himself with any glory at all. Harvey Barnes. Utter waste of a shirt from start to finish, from coming on to when he was taken off. Utter waste of a shirt. And you're saying I was listening in the car in the cab on the way back, and you were saying that Tonali was one of our best performers. Well, I don't know what game you were watching, because it wasn't the same one I was watching.
No, I agree. Apparently, it wasn't. If you think Byrne was one of our men of the match, and that Gordon wasn't an idiot for punching somebody in the back of the head. So,
well, I haven't seen that incident yet.
Well, I'm telling you, it was. So whether you want to believe it or not.
Obviously, I ran down to try and watch it. There was still VAR in it, and they didn't show the incident again.
Yeah.
But I was asking the kids around me what had happened, because we couldn't see it in real time, because there was a crowd of players all kind of around them, and they actually thought that the Brighton kid had got. Yeah, he says, "Oh, one of the Brighton players has got a red card," But so we didn't get a good view of what went on there at all.
Well, the Van Hecke didn't do anything to him. and out of frustration, Gordon literally push/shove the back of his neck head, and therefore an easy red card for Anthony Taylor. The easiest decision he had to make today out of a bunch of stupid little non-fouls that he didn't call or called against us
Okay,
Bournemouth.
I'm not going
So,
to blame the referee because
well, you can't blame the referee. I
he
mean,
was terrible for both sides.
and again, we're missing an.
But
So
in the first 20 minutes, some of the calls the linesman got wrong was just unbelievable.
uh, well,
But anyway, the whole thing was that all the how out started again. Uh,
well,
it's not to do with Eddie Howe today's performance. Nothing to do with Eddie
I
Howe.
I
It's
would
all to do with the player's
I,
performance.
I would, to a certain extent, agree with that. I think it needs to do with the player's performance, the player's poor lack of, and of just knowing where the hell they're at this moment. An important game, and they just didn't perform whatsoever, at all, at all, at all, at all.
Hey, my man, what you got to say?
Let me welcome Tiger Studios. By the way,
Hey guys, how's it going?
you can give us a call in, and the link is in the chat, and you can come on have your say. I saw rugby in there as well. So if you want to come on have your say, please do that. We'll go one by one so everybody has their time. And well, Mr. Tiger, what do you think?
Uh, I'm pissed off, right? But where to begin? Firstly, I want to praise Brighton. Well done, well played. Honestly, watching them today, I fell in love with their football, man. I thought they were silky, man. They were just so silky. They were so good at passing, their movement, everything, and well played. Honestly, well, the manager's he's a top manager, so good luck to them for the rest. I want them to win the FA Cup. Just based on the way they play football. Honestly, amazing football. But let's get into our team. Right. There's no positives to talk about our team. Honestly, it's the same shit we see every game. What is the tactics with this manager? And when you're saying you can't blame Howe, you have to blame the players. But he's the one that motivates them. What is he doing?
Why the players need motivating to pass a ball 10 yards?
So what's the point of the manager then? If he's not going to motivate the team, if the players don't pass in 10 yards, he needs to be screaming at them. He doesn't do anything. He just sits there, and Tyndall just stands next to him like a clown. Honestly, man, another game, Chris. Another game, Gary. Another game win where it was a must-win, and we bottle it. We just bottle these games, and another game we can't even beat Brighton.
Well, you just said they're a good
What is
team, so
happening with this team this year?
well,
What is happening, honestly? And I said, Chris, after the West Ham game, it's going to get worse. It's getting worse, man. We're in crisis. After that Liverpool game in the
crisis.
final,
Well, I'm not going to agree with that. Crisis.
it is going to be after that Liverpool game, Chris. Yeah, you can. I'm telling you, after that Liverpool game, it's going to be crisis after that. The way we are playing, it's not good.
Well,
The way we
listen,
come out in the second half, and Gary, you said it like. Even today, you were saying, "Oh, we played crap in the second half. Even both extra time and those halves, we played crap." Honestly, I'm just so sick, and I'm done with this team now, man. A lot of players need to
we
go.
are in crisis. Maybe we are in crisis. I don't know. We are in the final, which I don't think we are in the best shape going into it. Thank you, Tamao, for the $7.77 super chat. That is our number. But we certainly appreciate it, mate. He says, let me see. Yes, how is a known issue, but at some point you have to shift all focus to that boardroom. It ain't been the same since Amanda left. Maybe that is the bigger picture that people are after a game. It's hard to say to talk about the directors, right? Because you want to talk about what happened on the pitch, and certainly we're trying to do that, but. It does come down also. It is a fault that they have because they haven't add any signings onto the team. But the players today, though, man, you can't. I mean, Joe Willock, what the hell is he on? He had an opportunity to head a ball in there, and he didn't do it. In the Gordon today, Mighty Wynn thought he was man of the match, but today Gordon was absolutely
I want to get onto Gordon
like
as well.
Mighty Wynn
you know,
didn't
it's
think he was man of the match.
like if I'm in the locker room, if I'm a teammate of Gordon, I need to have a word with him. You can get even like the Brighton left back that got sent off. You know, it was kind of a dumb sort of foul there, but you know, it's a play, it's a football play. Gordon literally just shoved double-handed the back of the head of somebody. It's an immediate aggression, and you're going to be sent off for 3 games at least.
Chris, he's an idiot, right? And like, I'm not blaming him for the loss today, right? Not blaming him for the loss. But what he's done is he's jeopardized our final. That's what he's done, because who are we going to bring on now? Barnes. He wasn't playing today. He was shocking. You got Murphy today, shocking. And then we bring on the likes of like Willock. Who else came on? Oh, Bruno. Well, I'm not going to say anything about Bruno, but we bring on
Why
Willock.
not?
Well,
Why not?
I tell you what.
No.
Murphy was twice the player Barnes was.
No, he wasn't, man. Get out of here.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
No, they were both
man.
equally shit.
And by the way,
no,
I said this.
But
Murphy
Chris, what I'm trying to say
did
is,
some good stuff.
Yeah.
What did he do? He lost the
Oh, he's for
ball about 10.
Dude, I'm telling you.
What does Asula have to do to have a chance?
I tell you what. Also, it didn't help. It didn't help that Tino obviously got crocked after we'd made the 5th substitution, and he was just hobbling. At one point, I think it was Bruno was going to play. No, it wasn't. It was Murphy was going to play the ball back to him, and he more or less says no because he could barely stand up. And then the ball was played back to him. He did manage to give it to, I think that was Willock. But Willock lost the ball, and then Tino was having to try and track the baiting player who'd run past him to it. Unfortunately, Dan Byrne came across and cleared the danger. But Willock was playing for the last 10 minutes of extra time with a bad injury that he could barely walk on, and that was also responsible for quite a few of their 3 or 4 efforts that they had, because he just wasn't able to do anything really. They didn't really capitalise on it as much as they could have done, I don't think.
I'm not gonna lie. I see a little bit of nonchalant text from the Mighty Wayne. Somebody that's running out of time and running out of opportunities to get trophies. He's very calm and cool and collected, so that's okay. Gary, let me get your takes on the game. Mighty Wayne said we should have won tonight. What do you think?
I totally disagree. I honestly didn't see. The first half, I said it was very much, Brighton had more possession of the ball. They utilised the ball really well. Newcastle hit them literally with a sucker punch. I mean, we all know what Isak gives us. I mean, it was a silly foul to give away in the box that gave us the penalty. It could have gone on to be 2-0 because Isak had the one header saved at the back post. And obviously, then we had the offside goal. And like I said, that would have changed the complex of the game anyway, because when you get goals like Isak sometimes provides us without playing well in front of him, sometimes you can create something out of nothing. But I emphasise going back. Now, I don't like using SofaScore because sometimes I can't understand how they give you the scores or how they make the scores. But as I said in the first half, for me, Tino Livramento playing left back gave us nothing out of place. He kept the shape. He attacked really well down the side and kept us well. The one person who I have to disagree with is Dan Byrne. Now, I've got Dan Byrne's stats in front of me, and you said he won nearly every ball in the air. He won 7 out of 14. He won 1 ground duel out of 3.
Count them.
Well, like I said, you guys use SofaScore all the time. I'm using it today because I want to be on board with you guys.
Yeah.
He committed 2 fouls. He had 84% passing, 52 out of 62, and there was one cross not accurate and no long balls out of 3. So, yes, he got 13 clearances in, but that's because Brighton were playing well in front of him. What I couldn't understand was the way, for me, I thought Miley was absent in the first half. And again, I don't know whether this was Howe's initial setup. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it just doesn't work. And you can tell it didn't work because literally as they equalised and were getting on top, as soon as we started the second half, there ain't many times that we see Eddie Howe making changes in the 55th minute like we did today.
Yeah.
And he brought 3 players on because he needed to kick them up the backside. And even those players coming on didn't motivate them. Now, there's a point of me that questions about motivation. Every single player that plays in a black and white shirt as a professional has to be motivated for a game. When it comes to cup games, that's what brings excitement to the cup competition. It's the way your attitude evolves within the game. I didn't see enough want and drive from many of the black and white shirts today. And I'm not just going to name a couple to say they played bad. I didn't see Miley do very well in the middle of the park. Tonali tried his best at angles, but he even gave balls away today. I think it was something like 8 or 9 balls he gave away. But when you're up against the numbers, and I said we went to this 4-4-2 situation, and we look unbalanced. We looked lost at times. Gordon didn't get involved in the game. He was just running headlessly. Harvey Barnes, as you correctly say, didn't get involved. But when you look at what Murphy provided, which was weakness down that right-hand side, now we swapped from the left-hand side in the first half to more of the right-hand side in the second half, and it was a non-existent opportunity. Like I said, nobody actually changed the outlook of that game coming off the bench. And we keep saying it. Eddie Howe is restricted with stale players. There's too many players on that park, don't have to perform every week because they're guaranteed a position. So when you haven't got anybody to fight against, it's an easy win-win situation. And like I say, there ain't many times that I have been or seen the lads on TV like I have today where there's booing at full time. If that was a performance of 11 players coming off that park, well, 10 players in the end, coming off that park who have tried, the black and white army didn't agree with it because they could see what we could see. And like I say, I didn't think Brighton were a great side. They're a working side. They're average players at best, but what they do is they work for each other and they fight for the cause. There was players throwing themselves into positions that, like I said, we saw Van Hecker throwing his head in a position where you wouldn't want to throw your body at times. But it's a commitment to the cause. And for me, it's about aptitude. And like I said, I think we've got far too many glory hunters within that squad now. It seems as if the hard work's been done. You look at February as a month, 3 points out of 12. Yes, it was a tough month, but how many players can you honestly say in the month of February fought for the black and white shirt? Because I can't name many. So, for me, yes, we without the cup, and it ain't about not progressing in the cup. It's about giving it a bloody go. And when you go out there and have a go and you lose to a better side, then you hold your hand up and come off the park and say, Gaffer, sorry, mate, but we've lost to a better side. I disagree with Tiger saying that Brighton are a better side than us. I agree that you've got a young manager who's got the knowledge and the willpower to probably motivate them more. He reminds me of them young Eddie Howe days, like I said at the pre-match show. But for me, what you've got there is 2 very average sides that literally fought it out toe to toe. And there was only, like I said at the start of the second half, it's about attitude. It's about the want. And I didn't see enough players in a black and white shirt want that win enough for me today.
And it's a must-win game. You got to win or you go home. Well, we were home anyway. But why go out there and play like the players? I don't know what's going on with the players. I mean, you could say, Target, you got to get them motivated. Eddie needs to wake up, give everybody a call and say, good morning, honey. Be ready for the game tonight. I understand. You got to pump them up. But fucking hell, man. You're playing the FA Cup.
But Chris, why is it that when we win, oh, it's Eddie Howe masterclass. He's amazing. But when we lose every time, it's the players. How
Well,
does it get a mention in this?
not for me.
Look, I
I've
know. I'm just saying, as a fan base, that's what I always hear. Oh, when we lose,
but
it's the players' fault. But when we win, it's
I,
Howe's
but
amazing.
other than the change to 4-2-2 in the second half, I don't know what other thing Eddie Howe that did that made no sense. I've told you about the changes. I don't know. I mean, you bring in Target for Trippier. I don't know if that really changed the world. I don't know, and I don't think so because I mean,
What
actually, it
does
would have.
Kraft have to do to get a game? Why is he not getting a game? You give him a contract.
You got a fair point there. You got a fair point because Shar is
I'd
absolute
absolutely
rubbish.
agree. You got a fair point there.
You know what I mean?
Shar is absolute rubbish, man. He is. And I'm sorry, but this season he is defensively making unnecessary fouls. What was that foul, Gary? That he just literally Pedro just pushed him, like shoved him. Like what? What are you doing, man? Giving them a chance to score.
There was 3 or 4 today in that category where he just made no attempt to play the ball, just bundled the player over. One particularly on the far touchline from us, and he looked at the referee and said, "What's wrong with that?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, but we're out of another cup.
It's poor. It was poor.
But so why can't you? And I want to know from people in the chat to let us know. We're gonna get into your comments here in a minute, because a lot of new people joining back and joining in, and a lot of people coming back to the channel that I'm seeing as far as chats is concerned. So we're gonna get to a lot of you, Frieden, this and that, everybody. Why do you? Because I feel like you're not in agreement with us, with me.
In what?
In the Gordon situation, because you feel like Gordon it just happened, and it is what it is. And I would be absolutely enraged.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm talking about his overall game.
Yeah, but that gets eliminated
up to that point.
If you're a footballer that is not thinking straight.
If you're saying the rest of his game gets eliminated, fair enough. That's your opinion.
But it doesn't to you. A player that literally he gets sent off. It's not a football play. He
right,
he committed an aggression to somebody. You're out of the final.
Stupid and crazy. Agreed. But that doesn't mean he had a shit game the rest of the game.
Okay. Wow.
He had an okay game.
He did have an okay game. That's what I'm saying. He didn't have a brilliant game, but he certainly didn't have a shit game up till the point that he was sent off.
I'm not blaming him for the loss.
No, I mean, listen. He had one shot on target, right? 83 minutes played, four attempted dribbles, non-successful, 50 touches of the ball, 73% accurate passing, which isn't great. There's one key pass. None of his 5 crosses went on target. One of his 3 long balls were accurate. 3 out of 10 ground duels, 0 out of 1. Where's a good game there? 22 possession lost. I don't see a good game there, guys, at all. Not from this level.
If you state it like that, then yeah, that's.
But it's fact. I'm not stating it. That's fact.
He ran around. That run around is not having a good game, in my opinion.
I just thought he tried to make things happen.
That's the point. He was trying to make things happen.
Brent is asking Wayne a question. Does he know that Gordon is also out of the cup final? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know that. We already got to the cup final, so for a win, that's it. He's fine with that. So whether we lose or win is irrelevant. So let's go with the comments then. Let's go with the comments because I just don't. I don't understand it, man. I mean, it's we're out of a tournament. We need to be angry because Newcastle didn't play. Do you think do we play better than Brighton? Anybody here think that we walked Brighton out of the park today? Because I don't think so. I mean,
we were well beyond.
It was a very much a balanced game in the first half. Gutted that they scored, but
we created the better chances until extra time.
All right, okay. Well, that's one way.
What about the shot that Dubravka saved down to the right hand side? These are all these.
Until you mentioned it just before there, I forgot Isaac Smith with his header.
Yeah. That's what I said.
That should have been a goal.
But it was a tight angle win, and like I say, the keeper saved it.
Willock was alone. I give you that.
Willock, man.
And he was absent as well the whole game. You know,
Well, he did one good thing. He did there was a superb block that he did.
and by the way, Dubravka saved us as much as he could. I don't want to hear this. Dubravka should have saved this.
Man of the match for me.
Because some people in the chat said that Dubravka, or the Pope would have stopped their goal or whatever. What? I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Or at least the first one against Minte. That's the one.
And the ball that eventually resulted in the ref getting his yellow card out. When he grabbed that high ball and he threw it out to Willock, I think it was, who got brought down, and finally the ref got his yellow card out. That was superb distribution.
We got a question here from Connor. Just stumbled upon it. Says, do you think the players are happy with House tactics? To me, they look like they don't.
They've trained with this guy, and this is where I sometimes do get my head a little bit strange when you're a coach, a head coach, and you're asking the boys to perform at a certain level. Now, like I said, and I'm not, you have to point a finger of blame because these boys are Eddie Howe's boys. Apart from a couple that obviously have been utilised within the squad that have now become better players. You can't blame the choice of player because we all see what these boys can give you as an individual performance level. What I can't understand with these boys, and again, I go back to, it's too easy for them. You can't blame Eddie Howe if he's doing the tactics all week. Now, the biggest problem you have, and we saw it work against Liverpool at times, it was just the wrong choices. When we go this 4-2-4 or 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 fluid, whichever way you want to add it, whenever you play that system, you've got to have movers. You've got to have people willing to run the extra mile. It worked against Liverpool to a degree because we got them turned within the first 15 minutes facing their own goal. Didn't see it once against Brighton today. There was nobody running into those half spaces, getting them turned for the ball over the top. Willock maybe once with the ball from target down the corner, but it didn't happen enough times for me. And like you said, you've got to have both sides willing to run and push that extra mile for me. And like I said, it was the attitude. You could see it, like I say, from the first 20 minutes. It was a half decent. Once the goal went in, it was a case of we've done it now. And I think that was the difference in the team. Once we got that first goal, it was a case of, right, we can sit back now. And the problem is, once you start having that mentality of sitting off the player, they play around you because you're allowing them to play around you. So I don't believe it's Eddie's tactics and tactical awareness and all that crap because you have 2 days to train on this system and who to mark. The biggest problem for me is, like we said before, when you've got Fabian Schär running into the opposition half, leaving wide open spaces behind you because he's been told to go and mark Joe Pedro in his own half, it's mental. You let him go, and then exactly. And Dan Burn did exactly the same.
And let me tell you something. And Burn is the same way. Burn is the same way. The twat doesn't get it. It's
about the mental approach of players.
If they don't understand it, if a manager tells you, "Yeah, this is your man," don't let him. They get followed around all over the pitch, leaving their position open. And a Burn running around in circles, man. How can anybody enjoy watching that?
We had no argument about that against Arsenal, did we? When they did exactly the same thing.
Because Arsenal hasn't got a striker, mate. That's what I keep saying to you. If you haven't got a striker, you ain't got to follow them. They're just midfielders.
I've been criticizing Burn on that since last year, or actually earlier this season against Man City, which is the first sightings of that. Running around like a headless chicken. For what? What are you helping the team do?
Yeah, you wonder why he puts the effort in, because he made 2 or 3 runs down the left wing after Gordon went off. Busted good to get there and just completely ignored, and then had to run all the way back to get to his normal position.
And Connor is saying they are executing Eddie's tactics. So his thing is about Eddie's tactics, which it can be. Everything can be, multiple reasons. But man, let me tell you something, man. If I'm a player with some bullocks and personality, I know what the manager tells me, but I know what's happening right now, and he's gonna have to get over it. But I'm gonna do what I need to do right now, or else I'm a robot. If Fabian Schär what we saw having mistakes after mistakes, just fouling people for no reason. It makes no sense, man. Chris Ann says, "Oh, sorry, sending $5 CA. Is that what is that? CA.
Canadian dollars.
Oh,
Canadian.
Canadian. Oh, who
Canadian
Canadian?
dollars?
Hey, man. Oh, Canadian. Canadian.
Just north of the border, man.
And north of the border, be careful. What do you say? Show it again, if you don't mind. Shout out to Chris Ann. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Says, question to the panel. What's going on
pressing
here?
it?
Why can't we pass the ball like Brighton? Well,
Well, that's a very good question. That's my main question of the day, and it hasn't been restricted to today's performance.
No,
It's-
exactly.
every
it's
second
a-
half.
It's an ongoing theme of inability to pass the ball 5 yards.
It's every second half. Every second
Well,
half.
let's throw this out to the Eddie Howe haters then. So is that Eddie Howe's tactics that a player can't pass a ball 5 to 10 yards
It
to
shouldn't be.
feet?
It
That's got
shouldn't
nothing
be.
to do with tactics.
By the
it's
way,
nothing- it's got nothing to do.
I don't know how Livermento is like almost man of the matchish on the left side, and then goes on the right, and then he plays
Awful.
awful.
Yeah, he
How
falls on
does
his
that work?
But
backside. I don't know.
Eddie's style
I don't
is
know.
not tiki-taka football, though. That's the thing.
But you're absolutely right, mate. Eddie's style isn't tacky footballer.
Oh.
And like I said, you buy players to play this high pressing role. Since James Bunce has come into this side, as a backroom coach, it's stopped. He stopped the high press. He stopped everything.
Yeah.
Stop
And
the
I think-
intensity.
Yeah,
And
but
I think the identity now has gone. And the problem is you cannot have the same players that play one system really well, adjust to another system. You're always going to get bits and bobs. You're always going to get games where they look outstanding, everything fits into place, the jigsaw is fixed. But then you're going to get games, as we've seen throughout February, where the same players just cannot get it right. And like I say, once you start getting into your head psychologically that balls go astray. Today, there was half a dozen half balls that were just nonchalant. There was no zip in that ball. There was no want to get that ball to the front man quick enough
I agree.
along the floor into the channels. I mean, even the point where you talk about Dan Burn and Fabian Shaw leaving the ball to each other for Joe Pedro to get onto, then it's a scramble. It's that mindset. It's that mindset that I'm going to do this and I'm going to give you the ball and it's up to you now to get it done, get it sorted. But I'm going to give it you early. There's too many delays on certain things and then it's pressure. And there's just some of the lads that just aren't technically gifted to handle the press off the opposition. And if you can't handle the press off the opposition because you haven't got the tactical knowledge on how to use the ball, then don't play it. Get it gone. Play it up the field where you have got more chance of scoring and not conceding.
Yeah, it was certainly not a good performance, and we got eliminated from another cup, so that is not good at all. Now we got to put all our eggs in the EFL Cup basket, and I said if we don't win it, whether Mighty Win likes it or not, PIF will be watching very closely. And especially if we don't get near Europe. And can we even get Europe playing like this in every second half?
Who've PIF got to blame?
Well,
Themselves.
no, I don't know about all that. There's a lot of people that are participants and very much protagonists in this story. Not just Eddie Howe, but you cannot exclude him. It's the players, it's Eddie, it's lack of signings, it's everything all at once has... So is it a crisis? I don't know. People in the chat saying it's a crisis. Well, I mean, maybe this is the type of crisis that you get into when you are trying to win things. I mean, to me, crisis.
The way we're playing, it's
To
a
me,
crisis.
to me, crisis was almost
way
getting
we are
relegated
playing.
a couple of times in my lifetime. So that's a crisis for me. But
The
you
ta-
know,
the table doesn't show that.
the table doesn't show that. But let's tell you what. Let's get to some of the comments from people because they are really.
Yeah, but our crisis is if we don't win the EFL Cup or we don't make Europe, we lose our big players. That's a crisis.
Well, that is a crisis right there. I would agree. We're not there yet, though, but we are there. Chris Ann says we need a new manager. Kenny, treble off then? Well, that's been off, man. I don't know.
Yeah, the trouble's off, sadly.
The treble's certainly off. Connor
Come
Craven
on, bring
says...
the double on.
There is no double anymore. 80s Gamer says Gordon is a total disgrace of a man.
It was never on.
I'd rather have Maxi back
was
playing.
never on.
he needs to be sold now for costing us the cup final. Oof. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's cost, but certainly he's one of the important players. I would assume. I would assume we want him playing, and he's not going to do that. Why? Because of the stupid play that he um, contributed to. Foxy, well done to Brighton. Better squad on paper and on the pitch. Although not surprising, it's a disappointing cup exit. We still have a lot to play for this season.
Correct.
I don't know why the final and Europe. So, Steve, why are you defending them? Win? So yeah, it seems like you were defending them in the beginning. So not sure. Are you defending them,
Because
mate?
I'm not defending them on today's performance. The majority of them were atrocious.
Yeah.
But I'm defending them on the season's performance.
No, but that's not what it. No, what kind of?
Oh,
What are
was
you
he talking
talking
about
about?
Gordon?
You know, we talk about anybody, the whole game.
Oh,
You know, he's not. He's not talking about the game. This guy. He's talking about the season. All right. Well, I guess when we do a
I've
full.
already said we had a poor game. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't pass the ball 5 yards.
Okay. All right. Well,
And we just had no intensity. We had no press. We had no desire. We had
but
none.
Win, do you actually? I actually think now they're concentrating for the final. That's their focus.
And,
but
that's a massive
so
problem.
that's the case. So I think that's the case. I think
I think that's what
no
it
one
is.
well no one can disagree. But Gordon, that shot went up his backside because he's done. He's done. But I mean, if that's the case, man, these players have played finals before. If that's if that's the reality, we are truly.
We are knackered.
I mean, cause what the hell is going on with that mentality right there, man? Anyway, let me welcome Chris Radam as well. Chris, how you doing, mate? All good?
How we
Well,
doing, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
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 Chris.
we can hear you, this
Yeah,
man. What do you think?
same old, lads. I was very disappointed with that performance. I think they've took the foot off the pedal for the cup final still after watching that. I think the lack of pace at times on the counter press was poor. I think if Isaac, I hope there's nothing wrong with Isaac, because if he can't play the final with snooker, and when it comes to West Ham, I think we need to play our second team if we can,
Mm,
and just focus on the final.
yeah,
And I would go with Joe Litton on the left wing, like we did
yeah,
a couple of years ago.
Well,
Yeah, we've
Willigan.
done once or twice this season, haven't we? With J7 on there, but I think I
I would
agree with
certainly
you.
prefer to play the J7 Willock combination that worked so
Yes,
well,
yes, exactly.
rather than Harvey Barnes there.
Well, I don't know about
100%.
that. See,
Barnes
there's a
up
lot
top.
of negative comments about Harvey Barnes. I think the
Yeah,
team
because he's
decided.
crap.
No, but the team decided to attack on the left. We were focused on the left. That's what we were doing. What is Harvey Barnes supposed to do? Leave the right and go to the left so he can be a part of it? No. When
He's
you
lacking the
attack,
gear though, Chris. He's not turning up. He's been out there all season. Every time he gets his chance,
well,
he's
not all
questionable.
season, not all season, because he's been the reason why we've won a lot of games this season. Let's be fair.
He's an impact sub though.
Well, no, we were.
Whenever he started, he's been poor.
Yep.
And by the way, because of the people, if you're new to the channel, you know we jail people around here. So people by the chat wants Win jailed. So because I mean, unbelievable. This guy, man, he's nonchalant. You know, he's not gutted at all. He's just happy. You know, so that's all right.
I'm totally gutted.
No,
Yeah,
man.
but I mean, just going on to the Barnes thing, we both said, when Barnes came from the right to the left-hand side, he was playing more of a central role. The contribution that Barnes gave in the first 20, 25 minutes was very good. We made a point that by doing that, you overload in certain areas and you can get behind the fullback. And there was lots of times where we looked as if we were going to get in and behind on that left-hand side. With Gordon coming inside, it allowed us to start making overloads down the left hand side. But for me, it was the fact that once he goes back to the right hand side, Harvey Barnes, there's not enough intention now. Whether that's because of players not having the confidence, and we see this with Pope. We talk about players being, rolling the ball back to Pope because of his distribution with his feet. I saw today, again, confidence in Tino to do a job on the left-hand side, which pulled Burns away from the more central area with one eye on what Tino was doing on the left-hand side, trying again to do too much rather than his own individual job. And I think sometimes by not having the confidence in individual players, it throws your game. Now, whether Harvey Barnes just hasn't got what the rest of the players see he has, and they can't play to that system, I don't know. But every time Harvey Barnes seems to start, it's always a negative. I thought he started really well, but as the first half progressed, he did disappear more and more into the background and was playing more or less a right back position because obviously with Tino running, and again, we accuse Harvey Barnes of not being a game player. Now I'm gonna throw in, because there's a lot of people in the chat blaming Eddie Howe's tactics and everything else. Now, as I said in the preview, what you'll get is Tino running, which we saw in the first half, overloading that left hand side. Burns moves across, Shaw moves across. Then you get Trippier move more of a central right centre back. Now maybe the chat from Eddie Howe was restricting Harvey Barnes from going forward because you've got the lads from midfield to run into the holes. I don't know Eddie's setup, but all I'm saying to you is sometimes when you're not involved in the player, and we've been heavily focused down that left-hand side, which throughout the most of this season, we seem to heavily dominate that left-hand channel. The right-hand side has always been a non-entity for me. And it's only since with Murphy. Sorry, Chris, go on. Sorry, mate. What was you saying?
No, you're grand, mate. I think that injury has an effect on Harvey Barnes.
He's not been the same player, has he, mate?
It's knocked him back a bit. Because that Harvey Barnes at Leicester he was a bit like Gordon, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a pacey left winger who had a B of a right foot on him. And I don't know what we bought. He had some kind of plantar ballerina toe injury, I was told. Like, it's very rare really hard to come back from.
Yeah. It was a tough one. All right, then. Well, Tiger, just to let you go, man, what are your last thoughts? Keep it positive, bro. Actually, I'm not even going to tell you that. Erase that. Erase that because we just got eliminated, man. I can't be happy about that.
No, I just one thing Win said earlier about PAF should be blamed. I think in the summer we're gonna see what PAF are really about now, because if they don't show, two things: if they don't show ambition, everyone's gonna be onto them. But the one thing that they said was not selling the superstars if we don't have Europe. So if one of the big players gets sold, you've just lied to the whole fan base right there. And my friend who's an Arsenal fan, he goes, PAF might be just another Kroenke, just make money on the side, So we're gonna see in the summer. That's see what they're about. Because if we don't show any ambition, I'm coming for them, honestly. So that's me done.
There you go, mate. Well, cheers, appreciate it. I mean, I think that's a
Take
fair
care,
point.
Guys.
We'll see you later, Tiger. Thank you, mate.
See you Friday on the quiz.
See you Friday on the quiz,
See
mate.
you Friday, guys.
See you, mate. See ya. We're going to bring in Lewis as well. Lewis, how's it going, mate? All good? And now people will be able to see their comments scrolling through the side as well, so they can get a shout, so you can get your comment seen. So, there you go. Lewis, how you doing, mate?
I'm fine. I just got back in.
Yeah. What an awful game, wasn't it?
Awful.
Yeah.
You said that Chris, whoever the referee was awful again.
Yeah.
He let so much score.
Taylor.
And then what? Then go and get sent off. People again ratty. It was just one of those things.
Yeah. I mean, but for both teams though. For both teams, he was bad for both teams.
Yeah, I'm not saying he was bad for us. He was bad for both.
Yeah.
He's
thank you,
known
Sam.
for that, though, isn't he, Gordon?
Anthony Taylor. I mean, Anthony Taylor is a twat, man. Thank you.
I got the feeling he's going to be the referee for the Carabao Cup final.
Because we had the semi-automatic offside working. How come that took 4 minutes?
Exactly. If it's
exactly, well, that is true as well.
If it takes that long, it's not clear and obvious.
Yeah.
What was that? The Fabian Shaw goal?
Yeah, the Fabian Shaw one.
And there's another one as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it was close. It was like half a chest.
Was
So I think
indeed.
what they were looking for was just to make sure that there was nothing else along the line, because it showed on the screen that Fabian Schär was offside. I mean, I thought it was a goal because I thought the lad Weiser, who'd come on for Brighton, was playing him onside. It looked like it from the angle that we were watching on TV,
Yeah,
but
but
then
can I
when
tell you
you
something
actually
as well? Can I
saw
just
it,
jump in?
it was his shoulder moving forward, which obviously you can score from this part of the
Yeah.
body. So hence that was why he was given offside. So
But you
there
can
is
tell
a
you
reason
also of
behind it.
that. The picture they put on the screen of the offside of the Fabian Shaw, the automatic offside system was not level.
No.
It wasn't level.
Well, but I mean, look, I don't think refereeing did us. I mean, I don't know, did us wrong. I don't think we lost because of the referee. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sam. Says, has Eddie peaked given the squad he has? Well, maybe he has peaked because of the squad he has, or he has peaked because of his. I mean, I don't know. He can't. He's not a better manager than what he is at the moment, or giving him players will tell. If you make signings for him, maybe we'll know. But it's still a gamble. Either way, it's a
yeah, yeah.
gamble.
And
And
The
the
also,
squad
Liverpool
has Eddie
game,
Howe
he
picked
had
because his squad could only play one way.
Well,
And
exactly.
that's the thing, isn't it?
It could be. It could very
yeah.
much be.
but
Uh,
also their first goal, it shouldn't been given because it
yeah.
was in line with one of the ball girls, and he
Yeah.
went so close to the technical box. He went about 10 yards
Yeah.
forward.
All right then. Well, Chris, last thoughts, mate.
He has to play five at the back in the Liverpool final.
Has to play five at the back
That's
for the
my
Liverpool
thoughts.
final.
Not on this game. Move on. Next one. He
Yeah.
has to play the second string team against West Ham, and then he needs to focus on five at the back and just
I would say if you're going to play 5 at the back at Wembley, you've got to play it at
Bob.
West Ham to
Do you
give it a
think
try.
just to,
Uh,
but then yeah, I know. Yeah, yes and no. I just don't want to get a game plan away, or someone gets injured.
yeah.
Like, but I just want to keep Broughton wrapped
Well,
up
as long as
and
it
bring him
works,
out
it doesn't matter if you give it away.
Exactly. All right then. Well, Chris, thank you, mate. Appreciate you for coming on, of course,
Pleasure,
every
lads.
week.
Take care.
Take care.
Take
Be
care,
safe.
Chris.
And
See you, Chris.
how are the
See
lads?
ya.
I guess next time. I mean, we'll see. We'll have to move on. So that was Chris there, and Mr. Lewis. What do you think, man? Last thoughts.
Rule on Wembley.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even
I
know.
don't even know. Looking forward to it at the minute.
I'm not now.
I mean,
But
we're not.
But
this
it could
happened
all
last time.
change on Monday night.
But this happened last time when we got to Wembley. Nick Pope got sent off. Now Gordon's been
Now
sent
Gordon,
off.
because we don't have smart players. That's why.
Mhm.
Unfortunately. All right then, Lewis. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate
No
you.
problem. See ya.
Take care,
you
brother.
later.
Reason
Take care, Lewis.
I'm on my iPhone because my iPad's broke.
Right.
Oh dear.
Me by that, man.
The screen
Well,
smashed on it already.
yeah. Yep.
See
I'm
ya.
sure. See you,
See
mate.
you, buddy.
Ta-ra,
See ya.
man.
Take care. Take care. Take care. Take care. All right then. Well, and then there were four. Well, actually, I don't know why Roy's in jail. Roy didn't do anything to be in jail. He hasn't said anything yet. So, Roy, we'll take care of that. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm on mute.
What did you think?
Worst game. Oh, the worst thing that can happen happened. Everything. Isaac shouldn't have played. I wrote that in the group. Wrap him with silk for the final. He played him. He got injured, so God knows what's going to happen now. Then Gordon. And we lost.
When?
So
Stop.
you could have rested a few players, tried Usula on, tried a few players. As usual, Eddie fixes one problem by creating another problem. So he's got a target on the bench, but he decides to play Tino on the left. Wow. What is that? If I was target, what does that tell me? I've got no.
Oh, you're
I've got no
not.
future here.
You're nagging.
No future.
We are knackered.
Yeah.
We are.
But
So-
Roy, while you're
Hang on.
talking about what did you think about Tino's performance though, dude, on the on the left back position?
I thought
I
it
won't
was
blame
good,
him
man.
for the goal. I'm going to blame Dan Burn for the goal.
Where?
First one. First one, damn, Ben, what the hell are you doing at halfway line?
Yeah, exactly,
He's a
exactly.
throw
But
in.
Win likes that. Win likes that. It turns him on.
That's
But
him and Fabian Shea, week after week. Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse every week. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Still, man of the match, Dubravka. And guess
Oh
who's
my
going to
God.
play against West Ham? Pope.
look at that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what's going to
that's
happen.
one thing that Eddie got right
Yeah.
for certain because well, hopefully, because he might say this is the goalkeeper for the cup. And not the rest of not the rest of the year. All right, then look. Let me show you guys this. This is the blatant and stupid mistake that cost us. You can say that could have cost us the game because the twat just got sent off for no reason, and obviously the
Well,
final
because
that cost us
Van
the final.
Hecker got in front of him.
Yeah, so Van Hecker got in front of him. So for and then he just decides to just double fist shove the back of his head, instant red card. So what? Win?
That's first time I've seen that.
So what do you think then?
It's not a punch, is it?
Well, no, he's used the back of his
hell.
hands to slap him into
Yeah.
the back of the head.
Are
But I
you
mean,
kidding me right
you
now?
know, open or closed fist. I mean, it
it's
doesn't
a
matter, does it?
push.
Yeah,
It's
into
the
his
back
head.
of his head, man. What are you talking about?
It's a push. It's not a punch.
But yeah, okay. So it's a push. So what do you? So he shouldn't have been sent off. Is that what you're saying?
I think I'd probably appeal it.
Well, let me tell you
I,
something. They're
I
going to
wouldn't
give him.
appeal
No,
that.
they-
no,
they-
I wouldn't.
It'll
No,
be 4 games.
I wouldn't appeal it because it wouldn't be rescinded. But
Come
despite
on,
what
man.
I think PDK has just said, it's going to get rescinded.
Oh, yeah, man, come on, man. I think you just don't want to agree with what's in front of you, just because it's us.
No,
It's us. I mean,
I think
it's a,
he's
it's a,
he's
it's a
given
blatant
red,
aggression.
He's given a red for it for hands to the hands above the shoulder, which is I suppose arguably justified.
I
It's
suppose.
it's still classed as
But
violent
it's not
conduct.
the
You don't-
double punch that you were seeing.
No,
That,
but
that, that was that was what it looked like to us, because obviously we are behind them when they're running on, and all we saw was the push.
Okay, so a double shove makes it less of a red card according to him. Well, according to the FA, he's not going to get to play the game. So regardless, I wouldn't go and appeal and say it was just a double-fisted shove, mate. Come on,
They won
Take-
5 matches.
How way, man. It's unfortunate, but that's what numpties. That's what happened when numpties play, man.
yeah,
When
take the
numpties
3
don't-
matches and learn from it. I think is what you've got to ask yourself.
Learn from it,
Learn from it.
man. I tell you what, we need to do some pay deductions around
We
here.
never learn. We never learn.
Betsy, that's why Win was in jail. Exactly. Fucks it. Win, behave yourself right now. But Frieden says that's not a punch, so it may be overturned. It has nothing to do with it being a punch, man. It's
Well, it
like,
is because you said you told me when I came in that he'd punched him.
yeah,
in the
but
back of the
it
head with
has
2
nothing.
hands.
It has nothing to do with the decision. It's not like, oh, okay, it was just a shove, so he'll be back against West Ham. No, he won't be. So what are you saying?
Well, no, he won't be. That's
So-
fair enough.
I love that.
In 1930s, you got man of the match for the play like that. Well, 100%. Well, that's what Wayne wants to go back to. All right, let me see. Let's
If
finish with.
only.
Let me go to the comments. People have been saying, let's read out the comments quickly. Smoke, only way to cleanse this bad spell is winning at Wembley. Frieden says, embarrassing performance. Just want the Carabao Cup final to be over so we can go back to play football. To play our football, we need top 5.
Yep.
Tenji says, it is a crisis. It's capitulation, bottling everything. God forbid you're using that word in Mighty Wind's eyes. Newcastle never bottles, although we are habitual bottlers.
We
Steve,
bought the biggest points difference ever by February. 12 points.
exactly. And
If there's anyone who's a baller, it's us.
yeah.
For Arsenal.
Steve, Brighton times 2, West Ham, Fulham, Bournemouth, supposedly lesser teams, rock up and beat us. Rexoplay says, Willock is dreadful. Andy Bell, the target the target sub and changes constantly at fullbacks was a bit strange today. Tino was doing well at left back. I agree. Brent, question: at what point does the coach bear responsibility for a pattern of second half failures? Is it platter maybe? When was the last time? When you're muted, man. Fucking hell. When was the last time we had second half better than the first half? Patterns are on coaches, says Brent. Brent, actually. So there you go. Chris and a lot of players have regressed. Sam, I can't believe Tino was subbed off. He was toast. Niall, only thing I can say positive about Eddie, he was proactive with subs. Well, that is truth. That is the truth. 55 minutes. Tenji.
But yet again, the worrying thing was we were worse after the substitutions than we were before them.
That is true.
Albeit because arguably Isaac was tired and Trips got some sort of... Well, Trips did get a knock, we saw
that. David Knight, we aren't winning the final. We are toast. Tenji. For me, Tonali and Isak are the only players I would retain. Everyone else, they should entertain cashing in on. Strong comments. Paul Sprague, well, you're never going to win out unless they're shipped out or we strengthen, and they're nowhere near the first team. To Nut, our final ball cross pass never finds any of our players. Have Kevin Fuller. So Tino out. So Tino, Isak out. Are they? What? I don't understand.
Look, the way Tino was hobbling around the last 10 minutes, it seemed he's definitely got a bad one.
Well, that could be. That very much could be. All right, let's finish.
Could be looking at a Kraft target fullback there.
Let's finish up here. Let's finish up here with some comments here. Travoy Stevens says Eddie out. He can't take us any farther. Performances have been absolutely shambolic. We need a manager that can build and win. We are crap. Look at the players like Barn and Willock. Pathetic. So that's the takes there. Let me see. Malia overrated. Steve says. I don't know, man. It's too young to give that assessment at this moment. Let's see quickly. This and that.
It's too young to be bullying him up the way he's been bulled up.
So new contracts and bigger wages and less effort in performances. Well, it seems that way, doesn't it? Jack Lee, from an outsider, question.
By the way, I thought J7 had a good game.
Jack Lee, from an outsider, question: do you think the players are focusing solely on the EFL Cup, like they did 2 years ago, and let the focus slip on other competitions?
That's certainly what it's looking like.
But if that's the case, man, we are.
But when you consider FA Cup could be easier to win, that doesn't make any sense to me.
John Mack, we won't win any trophy under Howe. He is not good enough. We are getting outplayed by everyone at the moment. So that is and the last one, Leeds City. Gordon has an attitude problem. You see it every game. He thinks he is Isak when all he has is pace. All right. So that is the last thoughts. We're about to do quickly the player scores for NTTV Plus members. So please join us right now for the last 20 minutes. We'll be doing that. And I'll send the link so you guys can join us. But appreciate your support. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It was an amazing show today. Amazing watch along. But we got eliminated.
But a poxy result.
So at the end of the day, we are knackered. But we'll see you right now for the player scores. Cheers, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
How